Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussion video. You guys saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. Before we talk about that though, we have to talk about that Dragon Ball Super movie trailer. Dragon Ball Super Broly. Gosh, oh my God. We're going to be talking about this trailer for a couple of days. I absolutely know it. I mean, even for a couple of months. They're not going to give us a whole lot more after this, I don't think. And we're going to have to dissect it. We're going to talk about the story and what it could all mean and how it was all going to play out and all of these different variables. But really, I think the best thing about it, love it or hate it, the visuals are just absolutely phenomenal. It's like watching a manga come to life for the first time, and I cannot wait. It's going to be absolutely epic. The movie can be good. It could be good. It could just be a fighting movie. It could be everything that it advertised. It could be Goku and Vegeta and Frieza all fighting Broly either separately or individually. That's fine. But one of the things they have been kind of touching on is that we're going to explore a little bit more of the Saiyan mythology and learn more about what makes the Saiyans Saiyans. And I think there's only really one way to do this after we saw the content of this trailer. And I'm going to go into that because I think it gave us an idea of what we can expect when it comes to this movie. One of the big things I think we have to talk about is that we are on Earth. Who knew? I mean, why is Frieza there if we're on Earth? That makes absolutely no sense to me. I mean, for whatever reason, Paragus has a Frieza-like ship. Maybe they're just reimagining ships to all be like that or something, or maybe Frieza is in play with this guy for whatever reason. We're not going to be sure about that until the movie actually comes out or we get more information on that. But I'm not going off of that theory right now. I think that Paragus, for whatever reason, has a ship from Frieza's army. Maybe when Frieza's forces were actually really low and kind of weak during Frieza's absence, that would make a whole lot of sense to me. What I think they're going to do, they're going to allow Vegeta and Goku and Frieza and all these other people to play out the movie as a punch 'em up. This happens over the weekend. Broly comes to town, he makes some noise, but ultimately Goku and everyone beats him in the end, and we have a nice happy ending. It doesn't really make a big indent for the entire story. I think the brunt of the story is going to come from flashbacks and Paragus. I've always argued that Paragus is one of the most interesting people when it comes to Broly and his whole character arc, and it would be really great to focus on his character for the entirety of the film, or make him basically the main character, the main villain throughout the entire film, and have Broly just be the guy there to punch Goku really hard. And the way I would love this to play out after everything that we saw in the trailer is because we're on Earth, and because we get to see all those shots of baby Saiyans and the little pod things and everything going on around there, and this shot beautifully of the Saiyan pod with the adult hand and the baby hand in the armor. There's a lot that they're going to play off here. I mean, heck, the Saiyan pod is in the trailer. It's in the poster. This is something we're going to be exploring in a very big way. I think this is how it's going to go down. Broly is going to be about Vegeta's age. He's not going to be born on the same day as Goku or anything else like that. He's going to be born. We're going to get flashbacks of Paragus pleading with someone, maybe King Vegeta, maybe someone else that we're kind of familiar with or whatever reason, pleading with them that don't let my son go to this far distant planet or something else like that. Please, I don't want him to go and live his life as a warrior. I'm a scientist. This is something I've really kind of loved doing my whole life. I would love for him to stay back and not just be a warrior just because Frieza wants it to be or whatever. And so obviously they don't really pay attention to him. This brings us all the way back to what Raditz said at the very beginning of Dragon Ball Z, where he's like, people with small power levels got thrown into other places for the moon to come out, and then they would take over the entire planet and we'd go pick them up later. The only reason they never picked up Goku is because Planet Vegeta got destroyed. Well, Broly had the same problem. So we get to see Paragus kind of lose his son sometime in the very beginning of the movie. Probably, I would open up with that if I was actually making this film. I would open up with Paragus losing his son. Not anyone trying to assassinate him because he's too strong or anything else like that. This kid is weak. He's the bottom of the barrel, but his dad is also kind of a little weak, but he's a little smarter than everyone else, so they keep him around. And maybe even he has a tragic story about how he had to do that when he was younger, yada, yada, yada. You know the point. So he won't stand up for that. He doesn't like that idea at all, and he really kind of resents the Frieza Force and everyone for making everybody do this. You know, they're just slaves to his will. The Saiyans are stronger than that. The Saiyans are smarter than that, and he wants them to rise up and stand on their own 2 feet. So what he ends up doing is, I'm going to go save my son. So right before Frieza blows up Planet Vegeta, he gets into a Saiyan pod and goes after his son. Of course, this makes them 2 survivors of the genocide that happened with Frieza blowing up Planet Vegeta. And then we get to travel with them in flashbacks, or maybe just all the very beginning of the movie, as we get to see Paragus go from planet to planet, looking for Broly, finding Broly, and actually raising his son and seeing his son grow immensely in power every single day. You know, there's a point where he doesn't even know if he can really control it or anything else like that. But he starts to see, and maybe uses his own intellect to figure out a way to control Broly, but he sees that this is what the Saiyans are. This is a way to actually bring back the Saiyans. You know, we bring them back with power, but we bring them back the right way. Of course, as they go from planet to planet, of course, with all this time passing, we have everything going on in Dragon Ball Z and even through Dragon Ball Super. So Paragus learns, at least through the grapevine, that there's these things called Dragon Balls, that Frieza got destroyed by a Saiyan, and he wants to go find that Saiyan, but it's harder than that. And then all of the other stuff that kind of leads into this idea that Paragus finds Earth, wants to get the Dragon Balls to wish back Planet Vegeta, and we essentially give Paragus Baby's arc from GT, or at least the very tail end of Baby's situation in GT. I think that would be really awesome. So he goes to Earth, he powers up, or he has Broly power up or something like that, and then we have Vegeta and everyone go to see what's going on. He approaches Vegeta as like, hey, Saiyans are awesome. We got a bad deal from Frieza. I know that you're strong. I've heard about you. I've heard about how strong these Saiyans are. I'm strong too. I'm strong in the mind. My son is strong too. We can bring back Planet Vegeta. We have these wish orbs. We can do anything we want, and you can be our king. And then Vegeta, not being the same person he was back in the day, has to make that choice, and he makes it pretty quickly. No, I don't want to do that. Saiyans are weak. Not really literally. Obviously, he has a bunch of Saiyan pride, but, you know, our reliance on who we were, not what we could be, is what made us weak. So that's why we need to let the Saiyans die instead of just us ourselves. At least that's the way I see it. I mean, a lot of people might have a problem with that. I don't think a lot of people would believe that that's Vegeta's mentality, but I think it'd be really interesting if that was kind of the dynamic between Paragus and Vegeta. Instead of Paragus actually hating Vegeta from the get-go, he feels betrayed by Vegeta about the decision, you know, choosing Earthlings, choosing other things over the Saiyans. He's lost his pride, at least in Paragus's eyes, because Paragus at this point is so much older, and he's been so embedded with this idea of bringing the Saiyans back for so long and trying his best to control Broly's growing immense power that situations kind of get out of hand, and he allows at least Vegeta to fight Broly, or Broly to fight Vegeta and Goku, just to show them, at least at first, this is what has been happening. You know, this is what's been happening to my son. This is how strong the Saiyans can become. We will actually, you know, do our own thing, and we'll take you out before we do that type of situation. That would be really cool in my opinion. So guys, what are your thoughts here? Tell me in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I hope everyone's looking forward to this movie because it's going to be really cool. Yeah, guys, it's been real.